qualities of a good interpreter. So imagine me. First, I have to admit, I was elated that he was up there. That was the first time I saw him. Because I had done the 25th and 30th anniversary of the March on Washington. I did the Million Man March. And if you watch CNN, you never would have known that there was an interpreter there. So looking on TV, seeing this brother up there, I'm like, oh yes, I got it. Oh my, the girl, Wilma Wilhoit, who's on Parliament there addressing, who's been there, she's got it, accessibility great. And then I saw him moving, I went, now I know South African Sign Language is different from ESL.
What?
But I ain't from, if I recognize something was up there. So I text my friends there, I Facebook them and said, what's going on with your boy? What's up? And they said, we don't know him. And what we do know of him, we don't like that. And so it was amazing that he actually brought, I told her, Wilma, because she was really distraught and upset. I said, look, he's probably done more than all the years you served in Parliament talking about accessibility, because now it's the national security issue, it's accessibility issue, it's a linguistic issue, it's an embarrassment to the world. South Africa, you couldn't even find the company who hired him after that. Everybody just ran.
Everybody disappeared.
Everybody was gone. All right, who hired him? Who is it that man? They're gone. So it became such a major implication. And that night I was doing a workshop in Singapore.
Yeah,
and said,
yeah, sure.
What happened? What was his problem? Why? First job, first mistake. He accepted the assignment. Again, he accepted the assignment. He made a conscious decision to go up there and do that. Chutzpah, ego, whatever you want to call it, misplaced, erroneously applied. So that's the first thing, is to accept the assignment. Now, it's always going to be that first time. No one gets good the first time. Everyone starts with the first time and then gets good. You know, the analogy that Dr. Anderson portrays time and again about the doctor is, you might get that intern. You might get, but there's always partnered with somebody who's been there for a while. But there's always going to be someone who's going to be their first patient. Fortunately, with the medical profession, they add so many layers of progression that you just can't help but at least have someone who's anatomically understanding what's going on. The same with us. There's always going to be a first assignment, but at least you should have the background knowledge. You should have the linguistic ability. You should have the professionalism. You should have all this stuff so you know, I'm in my lane, I'm out of my lane, I'm doing the right thing, I'm not doing the right thing. I'm completely overwhelmed. I need this type of support. I need this type of support. I need to do this. So that it becomes second nature later on, but this is my first time. But the first time doesn't always give you a pass for not being prepared. Actually, it makes it important for you to be even more prepared. So, and I'll talk about that a little bit more as an experienced interpreting versus someone first coming in. So, the first thing you get is the opportunity to accept the assignment. The second thing is the dates. You also want to know when the performance is going to be. Hopefully, it's maybe at least a minimum of a month in advance. A minimum. And the reason why is because you need time to go to the performance. You need time to get the script. You need time to figure out the logistics of what you're going to do. And the feasibility. Do you have within your schedule to do that assignment in addition to family, school, your own study, your own personal life, your own stuff? Because one of the biggest problems with accepting an assignment is that you're already double booked. And that also doesn't always mean that you're double booked, meaning the same time slot on a Monday night you're supposed to do something. Double booked means that you got so much going on in your life you can't possibly put the time in to prepare. And so you got to know that you're going to be able to put that time in, because it is time consuming. It is time requiring. It makes it needed that you want to immerse yourself into this introduction, because you don't get a second chance. You know, no interpreting assignment allows you to have a second chance. This one won't give you any other chances. Fortunately, some of the productions here in town that give you 2 performances to interpret, the second one is better, but the first one is supposed to be around tomorrow. If anything, the second one will be better than your best. So that's the dynamic in the context of picking the assignment. The second part is to now you got the feasibility, logistics, you know where you're going to interpret, the date you're going to interpret, what type of performance is. You want to figure out how long the performance is so you'll know what your stamina is going to be. Nothing hurts like getting to intermission and realizing you all played out. I got nothing left by way of my energy left. I didn't sleep before the performance. I didn't rest. I didn't get to the theater an hour before. I didn't go over my lines with my co-interpreter. And now I'm rushing from a day job right into a performance. And you realize around about intermission, your eyes get dreary, the heat of the lamps are on you, the lighting from the theater is on you. The performers have done their due diligence. They've been off all day. They're coming in even to work. We finish a job and go to another job. So recognize that this is not only a physical exhausting job, it's a mental exhausting job, because all the things that Dr. Anderson talked about and working with the terminology, the vocabulary, the context, that's brain stuff. When I first started interpreting, when I finished an assignment, I was physically tired and mentally fresh because I gave no thought to context, grammar, the audience and their perception, whether or not I was meeting them and they are in the whole ASL continuum. None of that. I just got up there and started working. Busy as a bee. Just signing, hands flailing all over the place. Attracted to non-signing people who say, wow, you sure did work. Look at you. You're a sweating mess. And I go, yeah, so when's the algebra test? I can do hard calculus now. I'm good. Now, I'm physically fine. I can drive myself home. I just can't think of where I live because my brain power has been poured into the information that I just got finished interpreting. I became another person for about a good 45 minutes of this performing arts interpreting, maybe even 2 hours. So when you finish that and you've already given your brain cells and your muscle memory, all that stuff to the performer, imagine how you're finishing when you really have given it. I mean, when you need to sit down at the assignment and go, okay, let me see the alphabets, and I'll see where that leads. A, B, C, D. No, that's not right. I need the rest. Because you have given and you have shared and you have put yourself into the assignment. And that's the difference in the muscle in your head and the muscle that is controlling your hands, your body, your feet, and all that other stuff. So the context of when the job is going to take, how long it's going to be, what you need to pour into it is the first part of evaluating the script and evaluating whether you want to take the assignment. And those of us who operate in the faith-based continuum realize that we don't get that respect. But we're going to do something on the crucifixion. And we've been rehearsing with the whole church who's going to have a part in this play. And they're all going to march in bloody, and there's 7 Christs and 4 or 5 Judas, and there's 13 disciples because we decided that we needed one more that was 4 years old. I said, wait, can you do that? Well, you realize the fact that while there were 12 apostles, there was actually more disciples all around in the atmosphere. But the point is the fact that we don't ever know what's going on in the whole faith-based community. And sometimes the whole level of professionalism on both sides, the interpreting part and the actual production, sometimes is given to, well, bless their hearts. They try. Yeah, you know. But this is different now, because Nicole Morgan did a production this past Easter. Amazing setting, wonderful cast, great immersion and great inclusion of deaf and hearing actors. So the interpreter had to be on point. Had to be on point because they were voicing and later on in the production signing. And so that's a whole new dynamic that we're going to be facing with. So the evaluation of the script and how and what role you play, as Dr. Anderson talked about. The other part is really being able to understand what a script is. Of course, you have the introduction, you have the listing of the characters, how to read them, how to know their order, why they're in the order that they are, maybe by order of appearance, order of importance. So taking into context, those types of things that a script writer would do is very important. It's not just something that happenstance. He mentioned the dramaturg. There's this type of document that some productions and some will do to provide you with the background. If it's a Zora Neale Hurston piece, they'll talk about her and the time of whether it's autobiographical or just a story that she used to show a point. August Wilson is another one, dramaturg for Shakespeare, which in addition to a Shakespearean play and the script that you get, there's actually a Shakespearean dictionary. So you understand what Othello is talking about, what Iago is talking about. You know, what, what's his girlfriend he went mad over? Othello and Desdemona. So you have all this research that you have to do. It's not something you can pick up and do, especially Shakespeare, which is likened to King James Version of the Bible. And sometimes those these and thous and very throw you off. You don't know who's talking to whom in what context. So you really want to make sure that in getting the script, you understand that this is a Southern play. This is Southern lingo, this is Southern jargon, this is Southern slang. This is how they say, when they say, I'm studying your can, they're not talking about tomato soup here. Yes,
Can I throw something in?
yes, sir.
Since you mentioned August Wilson, being a Pittsburgh
There you go, there you go.
Playwright, jitney is a
right.
Pittsburgh term, and there's a play called Jitney.
Yep.
Most people don't know what a jitney is, never heard the word, but it's very specific to Pittsburgh, Pittsburghese, the slang and area that Professor Bowden is speaking about. So be mindful of getting all that information
All that
and knowing it.
information. All that information.
Pittsburgh have their own language.
Don't judge us. Don't
Just
judge.
the words we've never heard of.
Well, and so is North Carolina as well.
I can do North Carolina, I can't do Pittsburgh.
So the point of the matter, and you're very right in the little slight jab about Pittsburgh, but New York, you know, there's California, there's Texas, there's North Carolina, there's Virginia, you know, it's West Virginia. It's a whole different dynamic.
Well, they got Atlanta, Georgia.
Land.
Hey.
So as we know, and you all raised those points. Go ahead. You're right. As you all raised that point. Geography is very important. Culture is very important. And all this stuff is what you can get from evaluating the script. By way of the dramaturgy, by way of the narrative. Maybe you're from there, that's all the better. Sometimes the best fit is somebody who says, I've been there, done that. And here's my t-shirt, size extra large. That's what I do. So this is where you really want to be able to pour and impart part of what you are. It would be very hard for me to do the vagina monologue because last I checked, I don't have one. You know what? I could go somewhere with that, but
Let's not.
that's not. Okay. So the issue is that, but then let's take it to the other side of the spectrum. Here's a men's ministry, and they're going to do things on the men's issue.
Could I
You
do
know?
it? Yeah.
And
Huh?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
and you know, if we're talking about our growth and our development and our inner core, you may not be able to relate, or you may not be the right gender for the job.
Right. Right.
It just won't work. I'm sorry. Even though you're down with us, cool. When we start talking about our stuff, last thing brother want to look over and go. So like last time we was my woman at, oh man, chill. Okay. The library. I went and read this wonderful book because it's just not a comfortable space. But those are the other aspects of really evaluating the script. And you can pick that up by way of reading it. But you know, today everything is available. YouTube has an amazing accessibility for us in preparing for our assignments. Very few things are not on there. And some things may be missed here and there. But for the most part, it's really becoming a very expansive and very great resource. But again, you have to be great students of the material. Everything on YouTube ain't valid. You know, I've seen amazing groups of people assign songs, and I go, yeah, they put it on YouTube. Because they look like a bunch of people who had pantomime. You know, and it's great in the context of hearing people, and I've gotten many accolades from hearing people saying, you know what, I couldn't even look at the preacher, but looking at you. Which, back in my single days, meant something else. But at that particular point, it went, oh, thank you, appreciate it. But I turned my attention to deaf people. Hey, did this make sense? Did this work for you? Most of the time, it's not me asking, it's looking for the light bulb to go off. Looking for the nod. Looking for the, yeah, there you go. Remember me? And when I see that happening, a lot of people say, oh, they stopped looking at me. I must not be doing a great job. What were they doing when they're not looking at you? Now, if they fell asleep, it may have been a lot of different reasons. Believe me, people work